Hello, everyone, and welcome to Charlie's calls from the Leon County Jail during Donna Adelson's trial. Let's just get into this call breakdown from the Leon County Jail through the 16th when he was booked in there, and then I'm sure that he probably is leaving soon to go back to South Dakota. So there were 152 phone call attempts. There were 73 completed calls, 79 incomplete. That's well over 50% unanswered. A duration of 67,303 seconds. He spent $181.92. That's nothing for the Adelsons. Charlie, as you can see in the other incident reports, was not doing very well in the Leon County Jail. He threatened to kick the door down if they wouldn't give him a tablet. He cried about needing his legal counsel. So as we can see, he got what he wanted. He's able to make the calls on the tablet and get his visits with his lawyer, even though he was on protective custody. That is why Donna went to the Wakulla jail to be able to use her tablet so freely and be on protective custody. That's what I am assuming and speculating. So let's talk about the call breakdown of who Charlie was calling the most. This was a surprise as well. Over 70% of the phone calls were to Bree, his baby mama, and probably to speak to his child that he shares with her. Over 20% of the phone calls were to Harvey. I'm sure Harvey was busy kind of splitting his phone calls between Donna and Charlie like he probably normally does, spending a ton of money on these jail calls and prison calls. There was another lady Charlie was calling, Loretta from South Florida. I'm not going to say last names, just to keep these people anonymous. About 4% were to this lady from South Florida named Loretta. Just as a side note, I noticed that Charlie has called Loretta several times in the past, and she did pick up the phone. She, according to my notes, is an 82-year-old woman who lives in Wildwood, Florida. It's near the Villages in Central Florida. I'm assuming that Loretta is a family member, and because she picked up the phone for a 30-minute call on the 18th and a 20-minute call on the 24th, that she is probably a relative on either Donna or Harvey's side, probably an aunt or a first or second cousin of Donna or Harvey. And then there was about 1% of random no answers. That was to a friend named Chad, who is a dentist from Austin, and also his friend. He called twice to Chad, no answer from Chad. Good on you, Chad. Also to a friend named John. To John, there were 2 calls and no answer. So John and Chad are learning their lessons not to answer. But Loretta had about 6 calls from Charlie. There was a 30-minute call duration on the 18th to Charlie, and then a 20-minute call on the 24th of August. I just wanted to note that this is not the first time that Charlie has called his friends John and Dr. Chad. They have ghosted him before in the past phone call logs. And also, I found it interesting that Dr. Chad lives in Austin. That's where Wendy was living. And it seems like Charlie has a lot of friends and family in Austin. So that could have been why Wendy moved there. I also found it interesting that another friend or family member named Brian picked up the phone twice for Charlie, once on September 2nd for 10 minutes, and then another time on August 25th for 10 minutes. But there were 7 calls, so that means 5 were unanswered. This person lives in Denver, and they are 62 years old, which could have a family connection and maybe a reason that Wendy moved to Denver. And to Harvey, there were 40 phone calls. I'm not sure how many were unanswered, but Harvey and Bree usually answer. To Harvey, there were 40. To Bree, there was 81 phone calls. Charlie's learning his circle is really tightening. Also, Donna's is as well. Donna, the only person who would answer for Donna was Jackie and Harvey, so I stopped looking at the Wacola file. But I'm going to go ahead and try to request those records. One thing I found really interesting, there were no phone calls to Ufferman. I believe that Charlie's appellate lawyer, there was a visit from some lawyers. It did not say who in his incident reports, but he did have a visit. So I'm assuming that he was consulting his appellate lawyer. More videos to come, you guys. I'm going to try to get Donna's Wacola file and see who she's calling too. Let's stay tuned for more arrests. I'm working on Harvey's evidence, part 4 or 5, I believe. And let's stay tuned for possibly Wendy's arrest if things line up and give the state a chance to just kind of catch their breath. And it's very stressful, you guys, being in that courtroom just for 4 days. It really kind of knocks the wind out of you. So give them a minute to kind of pause and regroup, and there will be more justice for Dan. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and liking and subscribing.